Most gardeners buy the same trays of annuals every spring, plant them, and start all over again the very next year. The gardens that stay full year after year, those folks aren't working harder, they're planting things that come back on their own. I'm Helen Green, but around here, most folks just call me Grandma Dot. I've grown this backyard for over 30 years. If you'd like to grow more from less, right in your own backyard, take a moment and subscribe. Today, 15 perennials every garden should have. Number 1 is the one I'd never garden without, so let's get into it.
Now, I'll be straight with you before we start. I am no botanist, and I hold no papers from any college. What I have is what was handed to me. My mother knelt in a garden, much like this one, and her mother before her, and what they knew of the roots that keep, they gave to me in the plain way such things are given, over a hoe handle, on a warm evening, with the supper waiting. That is all the authority I claim. A perennial is only a plant that has learned patience. You put it in the ground once, and it does not ask you to buy it again. Number 15, yarrow. We begin with a plant most folks pull up as a weed, and that is a shame, for yarrow is one of the oldest friends a household ever kept. Put it in your poorest, driest, most sun-beaten corner, the strip along the drive, the bank the hose won't reach, and leave it be. It wants no rich soil, it wants no coddling. Rich ground only makes it flop over like a tired man. Here is why it earns its keep. The roots go deep and fetch up minerals from below, so the ground under it grows better year by year. The flat white flower heads feed the small helpful insects, the ladybugs, the little wasps that eat your aphids for you, and a garden with yarrow in it is a garden with fewer pests, and you never lifted a finger nor bought a bottle. Cut it back after the first bloom, and it will bloom again in the fall. Divide it every third spring, and you'll have plants to give away over the fence. My mother laid the leaves on a scrape or a nick when we came in from the field, and that is an old use. But hear me plain, that soothes a small thing, it does not cure a deep one. A bad cut wants a doctor, and I'll not pretend otherwise. Number 14, chives. If you buy those little plastic clamshells of cut herbs at the store, this is the one that will shame you first. A clump of chives costs about the price of one of those clamshells, and it will feed you for 20 years. They come up green in earliest spring, often through the last of the snow, before anything else in the bed has stirred, and they are the first fresh thing on the table when the winter has gone long. Snip what you want with scissors, right down near the base, and they simply grow back. You cannot really hurt them. They will not sulk. In May, they throw up those purple globe flowers, and folks think they're only pretty. They are not only pretty. Cut them, pull the little florets apart, and drop them in a jar of plain white vinegar. In 2 weeks, that vinegar is rose pink and tastes of onion, and it will dress a whole summer's worth of greens. The bees will crowd those blossoms so thick you can hear the clump humming. One honest word, let the flowers go to seed, and you will have chives volunteering all over the bed. Some folks want that, some don't. Snip the heads when they brown, and you'll keep them where you put them. Number 13, sedum. The one they call autumn joy, though any of the tall stone crops will do. This is the plant for the person who is certain they kill everything. It is a succulent, which is to say it carries its own water in its leaves, the way a camel does. It does not want watering, it does not want feeding. It wants sun, and it wants to be left alone, and if you do nothing at all to it, it will thrive. There is no plant more forgiving of a busy woman with too much on her plate. But here is the true worth of it. Sedum blooms in September and October, when the rest of the garden has given up and gone brown, and the bees, who are hungry then and finding nothing, come to it in a cloud. It carries your garden through the very end of the year, and it feeds what's left of the hive on its way to winter. And when it dies back, do not cut it down. Leave the seed heads standing all winter. They hold the snow in little brown caps, and the birds work them over in January, and you will have something to look at out the kitchen window when there is nothing else to see.
Just a quick word before we go on. The old garden methods I was raised on, There is more of it than one video could ever fit. I wrote all of it down, the whole of it, in a book. The link is pinned in the comments below. The book is the long version. If you want it, it is there. I won't bring it up again.
Number 12. Lovage. Now we come to the ones your grandmother knew and your mother forgot. Lovage is a great tall thing, 5 and 6 feet high, and it tastes exactly like celery, only stronger and darker and more itself. Think of what celery costs you. Think of how it wilts to a rubber stick in the drawer inside a week. Then think on this. One lovage plant, set in the ground once, comes back every spring for a decade or better, and gives you more celery flavor than a family can use. The leaves go in the soup, the hollow stems make a straw for a tomato drink. If you're of a mind, the seed is a spice. The root can be dug and cooked like a parsnip. Put it at the back of the bed, for it will tower over everything and shade what's in front of it. Give it a little water in a dry August. That is the whole of the care. The caveat is honest and simple. It is strong. Use half of what you'd use of celery and taste before you add more. A heavy hand with lovage will run away with your soup pot. Number 11. Horseradish. I'll tell you the truth at the start. With this one, horseradish is a bully. Plant it in the middle of a nice tidy bed and it will take the bed. So don't plant it at the far corner, by the fence, in the ground nobody wants, and let it be king of that little country. Because it will grow where nothing else will. Poor soil, hard clay, half shade, forgotten entirely, and it will still be there fat and green when you come back for it in the fall. And what it gives you, dig a root in October, after a frost or two has sweetened it, scrub it, grate it, in a good stiff wind, or with the window open, hear me plain. It will bring the tears right out of you, and it is meant to then cover it with vinegar to hold the heat where it is. A jar of it costs $4 or $5 at the store and loses its fire in a month. Yours costs nothing but the digging, and it will clear your head on a January morning better than anything in the medicine cabinet. Leave a piece of root in the ground and it comes back. You could not get rid of it if you tried. That is the bargain. It will never leave, and it will never fail you. Number 10. Bee balm. Monarda, some call it. Bergamot. Oswego tea. A plant with 4 names is a plant that has been useful to a great many people for a very long time. It throws up a ragged red or lavender flower in midsummer that looks like something out of a dream, and the hummingbirds will fight over it. If you have ever wanted a hummingbird at your window and never got one, plant bee balm under that window and wait a season. They will come. They always come. The leaves make a tea, that is why they call it Oswego tea, and it tastes of mint and thyme together, and it is a comfort at the end of a long day. It is a mint, in truth, so it will spread by its roots. Give it room, or give it a boundary, and pull the wanderers each spring. The honest caveat, it takes mildew in a damp, still corner, and the leaves go grey and dusty by August. The fix is not a spray, and it is not a bottle. It is air. Space the clumps apart, thin the stems in the middle, let the wind go through, and thin the clump every 3rd year. Most trouble in a garden is a crowding trouble. Number 9. Coneflower. Purple coneflower. Echinacea, if you like the Latin. This is a prairie plant, and a prairie plant has learned to live through drought and wind and neglect, and it brings that hard schooling into your flower bed. It blooms from July clear to frost. It does not want rich ground. It does not want babying. Once its roots are down, it will go weeks without rain and never let on. The butterflies work it all summer, and in the fall the goldfinches come and hang upside down on the seed heads, and that is a sight worth a whole season of waiting. So again, leave it standing through the winter. Do not tidy it away in October. The stalks hold the seed holds the birds, and the tidiest garden in the neighborhood is very often the emptiest one. Folks know the root as an old remedy, and my mother had her way with it. I'll say what I always say, that is an old use and a gentle one. It soothes and it does not cure, and a real sickness wants a real doctor. And it seeds itself gently, here and there, in the places it likes better than the place you chose. Let a few of those seedlings stand. A garden that fills in its own gaps is a garden that has begun to keep itself, and that is the whole aim of the thing, not a bed you must hold together by main strength every summer of your life, but a bed that goes on without you for a week while you tend to your people. Number 8. Daylily. If a plant could be called dependable, this is the one. Daylilies grow in sun, they grow in part shade, they grow in the strip of dirt beside the mailbox where the plough throws the salt. They multiply, they ask nothing. Every 3 or 4 years the clump gets crowded and the blooming falls off. That is not a problem, that is a harvest. Dig the clump in the spring, take 2 garden forks back to back, and pry it apart into 3 or 4 new plants. 1 plant becomes 4. 4 becomes 16. In 10 years you have edged the whole drive and never spent another dollar. Most folks never learn this, and so they go on buying plants that were already in the ground, already theirs, only wanting the dividing. And here is a thing the old cookbooks knew, and the new ones don't. The flower buds are good eating, cooked like a green bean in a little butter. Try one first, mind, and try it small, for a body can disagree with anything. Number 7. Sorrel. French sorrel, a leaf that tastes of lemon, coming up green in the coldest part of spring, weeks before the lettuce is any good at all. You must understand what that means for a household. In March, when there is nothing green, nothing fresh, nothing but what's left in the cellar sorrel is up. A handful of it, chopped fine into a potato soup, will make that soup taste like something a body was waiting for. It goes in a salad, it goes with an egg, it goes on a fish. The plant lives for years and years. Cut it hard in June before it goes to seed, and it will push out a fresh crop of tender leaves for the fall. In a good spot it wants nothing from you but the cutting. The honest word here is that it carries oxalic acid, that is the tang you taste, and a body should eat it as a seasoning and not as a supper, a leaf or a handful, not a bowl of it every day. Anyone with trouble in the kidneys ought to leave it alone and ask a doctor first. Number 6. Thyme. The little woody creeping kind, set along a path or between the stones, where it will spread into a low green mat and give off its smell when your shoe presses on it. It is a Mediterranean plant, which is to say it grew up on a dry, rocky hillside and it expects no better from you. The great mistake folks make is kindness. They water it, they feed it, they set it in rich black soil, and it rots and dies, and they say they have a black thumb. No, the plant asked for gravel and you gave it a feather bed. Set it in the poorest, grittiest, sunniest place you have. Shear it back after it flowers, to keep it from turning woody in the middle. Then cut it green all summer, and in the fall cut a great armful, tie it with twine, hang it upside down in a dark, dry place, and you have thyme in the jar all winter for the roast, for the stock, for the broth when someone is under the weather. A jar at the store is $4, and it tastes of dust. A plant is $4, and it tastes of time for 15 years. Number 5. Peony. There are peonies growing in this country beside farmhouses that fell down 80 years ago. The house is gone, the barn is gone, the family is gone. The peony blooms every May like nothing has happened at all. I want you to sit with that a moment, because it is the whole argument for a perennial in one plant. You are not buying a season. You are planting a thing that will outlive you and that your grandchildren will cut for the kitchen table. The trick is in the planting, and there is only one, and it is the thing most folks get wrong. Set the eyes, those little pink buds on the root, no more than an inch or 2 below the soil. Bury a peony deep, and it will grow leaves for you for 20 years and never once bloom. That is the whole secret. Shallow. Give it sun. Give it a hoop or a cage in spring, before it needs one, so the rain does not lay the heavy blooms in the mud. And then, do nothing, forever. Number 4. Rhubarb. The old dooryard plant. Every farm had one, set by the back step where a woman could step out in her apron and pull a stalk without walking 20 yards. It comes up in April, when the fruit in the store costs a fortune and tastes of nothing, and it gives you tart red stalks for pie and sauce and jam, for 6 weeks running the first fruit of the year, though it is properly a vegetable, and I do not care, and neither should you. Pull the stalks, do not cut them. Take hold low, and give a twist and a pull, and the stalk comes away clean at the crown, and the plant heals over. And leave a third of the stalk standing always, so the plant can feed itself for next year. Take everything, and you'll have a poor plant next spring, and a poorer one the year after. Now the caveat, and this one matters more than any other on this list, the leaves are poison. Not a body might feel poorly, poison. Cut them off, throw them on the compost heap, and never let a child or a hen have at them. The stalk is a blessing, the leaf is not food. Number 3, asparagus. This is the plant that separates the folks who are gardening for this year from the folks who are gardening for a life. You put in the crowns, and then you wait. You do not cut a spear the first year, you cut lightly the second. And it is the third spring before you eat properly of it, and I know that is a hard word in a world that wants everything by Friday. But hear me, an asparagus bed, once it is established and kept weeded, will feed a family for 20 years. 20. Some go 30. Count what you spend on a bundle of it in April, thin as a pencil and shipped 1,000 miles, and then count it out over 20 springs, and you will see what the waiting buys. Dig a trench, set the crowns with the roots spread like an octopus. Cover a little at a time as the spears come. Keep the weeds off, that is the only real work, and let the ferns stand all summer to feed the roots below. Cut them down when they yellow in the fall. 3 years of patience for 20 years of April. My grandmother set a bed she knew she might not eat much of. She set it anyway. That is what a garden is. Number 2, sage. A woody little shrub that will live a decade in a dry, sunny corner and hand you leaves every month of the year, near enough for it holds its grey leaves through the winter in a great deal of the country, and you can walk out in December and pinch a few for the bird. That is what folks forget. Sage is not a summer plant you plant in a summer pot. It is a shrub. It gets old, it gets woody, and an old sage plant, well pruned, is a better plant than a young one. Prune it in the spring, once you see the new growth coming, never in the fall. For a hard cut going into winter can finish it. Take it back into the leafy wood, not into the bare old stems. Keep it out of wet feet. Wet feet kill more sage than cold ever did. Fry the leaves in butter until they crisp and put them over squash, over beans, over eggs, and you will understand why the old kitchens kept it by the door. It dries beautifully. It keeps its strength all winter. And the flowers, come June, will bring in every bee in the county. Number 1, comfrey. Now here is the one I would not garden without, and I would guess that 99 people in 100 watching me have never grown it, never bought it, and never once heard the name. Comfrey is a great coarse plant with big hairy leaves and roots that go down 6 feet and better into the subsoil, and that is the entire point of it. Those roots reach down where your vegetables cannot reach, down into the mineral ground below, and they haul up potash and phosphorus and every good thing that has washed down out of the topsoil over 100 years, and they put it into the leaves. So you cut the leaves. 4 or 5 times a season, you cut the whole plant down to a hand's width above the ground, and it grows right back, and here is what you do with that pile of leaves. You lay them thick around your tomatoes and your squash as a mulch, and as they rot down, they feed the plants exactly what fruiting plants are hungry for. Or you take a bucket, pack it full of leaves, weigh it down, put a little water in, and let it sit 3 weeks. It will make a black liquid that smells, frankly, terrible. I'll be honest with you, it is a wicked smell, and you water that down 1 part to 10, and you have a fertilizer as good as anything sold in a bright plastic jug, and it cost you nothing at all. Nothing. And that is the thing that has been taken from us. Not by any scheme, not by any villain, just by the drift of things, by the slow forgetting, by a world that found it easier to sell a bottle than to teach a plant. 2 cautions, and I give them plain. Get the sterile kind, called Bocking 14, so it does not seed itself across your whole property, for comfrey does not come out once it is in, and a piece of root the size of your thumbnail will make a new plant. And this, it is a garden plant, a feeding plant, a soil plant. Folks used to take it internally, and we know better now. And I'll not hand you a use I do not stand behind. One plant, no fertilizer bill, ever again. So there it is, one garden, planted once, and you have set aside the tray of annuals and the bag of fertilizer and half the little bottles in the garden centre, and put in their place the yarrow and the chives and the sedum, the lovage and the horseradish and the bee balm, the coneflower and the daylily, the sorrel and the thyme, the peony that will outlive the house, the rhubarb by the back step, the asparagus that asks 3 years and gives you 20, the sage in the dry corner, and the comfrey that feeds the whole of it for nothing. Now, I would like to hear from you. Tell me in the comments what perennial you would never garden without the one that came with the house, the one your mother gave you, the one nobody ever mentions, and tell me what part of the country you are writing from, for I do read every one of them. I sit with my coffee and I read every one. And next time, we'll talk about the things that come back on their own and feed you without any tending at all, the wild greens and the volunteers, the plants your grandmother let alone on purpose. Plant the one you keep meaning to plant. The best morning to have set it in the ground was 30 years back, and I know it well. The next best morning is the one coming. Go put a root in the ground. Until then, keep your hands in the dirt.